Hey, so it's actually Tuesday, November 2nd, which means once again, I'm running late as far as my monthly rant goes. And part of the reason is because, well, here I am. And I'm actually here at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center right now in Las Vegas, where I'm attending not one but two conferences that are held more or less simultaneously by channel partners and channel futures. One deals more with the telecommunications industry and the like, and the other one is more specifically for MSP and a newer show. I think this is actually their first one. So this is actually the first time I've been to the telecommunication conference, but I'm actually here for the other one, which is the channel partners event specifically for MSPs, because tonight they're going to have a gala event where they're going to recognize the recipients of the MSP 501. Now, Simplex-IT has actually been a member of the 501 about 5 or 6 times over the past several years. But I just thought this year, I'm going to go and take part in the actual presentation or whatever. To be clear, we are not anywhere near the top of this list. We're actually somewhere down around 340 or so, but out of the whole world, I'll take it. I'm also very pleased to announce that Simplex-IT is one of the Weatherhead Top 100. And you've heard prior years, if you've been watching this, seriously get a life, that historically Simplex-IT has been considered a Weatherhead upstart, which means one of the smaller organizations, not one of the big guys. Well, this year we made it to the big guys. And so we are a recipient of the Top Weatherhead 100 awards, which unfortunately the event recognizing those folks is going to be virtual, because actually that was the one big shindig a year that I almost looked forward to. The reason I'm leading with these two things for November is because these are actually the two awards of recognition that I kind of take seriously for us. There's a lot of ones of these recognitions or awards that are created by vendors or are more just ways to self-market. But in this particular case, I like the fact that the 501 is industry specific and vendor agnostic. And I like the fact that the Weatherhead is regional for all small, medium businesses. So I kind of use those as a good bellwether in terms of how well Simplex-IT is doing. A couple of other notes: we are adding new clients. We've been basically adding them at the rate of about one a month for the past 6 months or so. But we also had the interesting thing, we actually lost a client almost 3 years to the day. And when we lost them, they went to another provider because the management at that time thought they could do a better job. And they signed a 3-year agreement. And 3 years later, they're back with us. Here's the thing. Don't look to sign contracts or agreements that basically lock you into an arrangement or relationship with a managed service provider or anybody else if you can help it. That's why we do 30-day out. We want the relationship between organizations to be because we're both getting value month in, month out. And that works for a majority of our clients. Okay, now I'm up in my hotel room at the Mandalay Bay, and I wanted to talk now about a couple other things. One is the webinar we're having on November 16th, which is a Tuesday from 1 to 2 p.m. And what we're going to be talking about is IT Budgeting 101. And what we're going to talk about, and this is really aimed at CEOs who want to have a good handle on their IT expense, and also people who are the internal IT providers who kind of should be also in on the budget. And we're going to do not a deep dive, but essentially a relatively simple way that you guys can either together or separately come up with a kind of a budget plan for the upcoming year, as long as you've got some kind of idea of where you're going and what you need to do. Don't worry, walk you through the process, and we'll even provide you with a couple of worksheets that'll help you do it. Again, 16 November, Tuesday, 1 to 2 p.m. There's a RSVP right here to or just go to simplex-it.com/events and take advantage of it. So it is Thursday around 1 o'clock when I'm finishing this up because I'm running very late, but I'm at least back in the office here in Stowe. And my wife and I came back from Las Vegas taking the red eye. So essentially I have been up for roughly 29 hours straight. So this part doesn't make sense. You'll understand that. But we did get this neat little crystal trophy from the 501. But one last topic I wanted to talk about is that I was recently brought on as a consultant of sorts and met with the folks over at Armor. Now, Armor.com, is a company that is looking to go through the MSP channel as a security vendor. And here's the funny thing, they're not one of my partners. Nor are we looking to make them so. But what they did was they took a neat perspective of brought myself and 3 other MSPs down to Dallas for a couple of days to actually talk with almost all of their senior leadership about what they need to do to be a great provider of security services to the MSP industry and therefore to MSP clients. And it was really neat because they actually were paying attention, taking a lot of notes, and actually listening to what I said. Yeah, those of you who know me for a while, that was a mistake on their part, but they don't know that yet. But it was really refreshing to see vendors trying to get into a market and really doing their homework before they go aggressive and say, we know exactly what problems of yours we're going to solve. So, cool. Thanks to Armor, Christine specifically over there, and for inviting me, and let's keep doing that. Finally, I want to just point out that Q4 is here. It is already well underway. Look out for chip shortages. It is an absolute serious thing, and if you are planning on any kind of acquisition of any tech, well, actually just about anything, don't be surprised if you're going to see some delays. We're absolutely seeing it hugely on switches and infrastructure devices, less so, but certainly there. If you're looking for specific workstations or laptops, desktops, server equipment, and the like, it is serious and it is here to stay. And then finally, a shout out to kind of myself. The Mrs. Julie and I actually moved out of our Hudson home, where we've been there for 20 some years, into our new home in Talmadge. I still can't figure it out. And it was kind of weird moving after 20 some years, but we made it, and so did Asti the cat. So thanks as always to everybody for your support and all that good fun stuff, and see you next month.